Hey fanboys, hey fangirls, Carnell Holley here, back for another review. It's been a minute, and we're trying something new because I finally have the chance to collaborate with another YouTuber who I personally know, and so it adds a little more intimacy to the whole thing, because it's just like, oh, like collabo, get these numbers up and stuff like that. But no. I am joined by my buddy, Josh Perez from Juice Talkies. Heck yeah. Hey, what's going on, partner?
Hey, what's up, Carnell? Hey, man, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Okay, all right. We're finally here. We're finally in the mix because we were trying to do something, and we're doing this whole like Skype thing. And Josh basically told me before he went on vacation, a little mini one or whatnot, for the holidays. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna take a brief hiatus and whatnot. I'm like you remember that? Yeah, huh? So I'm just like, daggone it. So if he goes on hiatus, at least we can do something that's something that we both love. You love Ninja Turtles. I love Ninja Turtles. I'm rocking the shirt, as you can see. I didn't know which one you were going to rock because we spoke about it before, right? So like I even added the hat. But I'm just like, all right, something that he'll geek out on, and hopefully people put it down in the comments like, don't leave, Josh, don't leave. We like Juice Talkies because we want you to subscribe to his page. If you like what you hear, what you see, subscribe to this page also. I'm just like, yo, this channel's awesome. It is, you know what I'm saying? Because you get to see this mug, see that mug, Josh's mug, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, so we are joined today to cover the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin. I even got my variant cover.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And Josh got the same, which was so crazy. I went to the comic book store, and I was originally just going to get the normal copy, but then I looked over and I saw like, oh, all right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get that. And also, fanboys, fangirls, please, again, please support your local comic book stores, because I am supporting mine. You should support yours. This business, it helps to provide a safe place for us geeks. You know what I'm saying? That want to go to a safe haven to be able to talk and purchase things that's a bit more personal, instead of just like, oh, let me click online and get that. You know what I'm saying? Like go where people meet up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, let's do that. Let's be more personable. You know, it's like people don't know how to talk anymore. You know, Josh, I'm just like, it's not that hard. You know, you need to get from behind the screen, and but I don't want to be on the soapbox for too long. Let's get into this now, Josh. I want you to go in depth on how you felt on this comic. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I thought this issue was great. This issue was really, really good. I was not expecting this. But, you have this last Ronin, this last surviving Ninja Turtle who's out seeking revenge for the death of his brothers, which we don't know yet what happened to them or why they died. But all we know is that he's after a man named Oroku Hiroti, or Hiroto. And he is the grandchild of Shredder, and I thought that was really cool. I didn't want them to rehash the same villains as we usually see with every entry, and so I'm glad they did something different, created a new villain for us, and still managed to keep some kind of connection to one of the most iconic villains of all time, and the most iconic villain in the Ninja Turtles franchise. And so I thought that was really interesting. I loved the world that they created. This is a New York City that we have never seen. This dystopian, futuristic type setting that's been, ravaged by pollution and global warming, and this dictatorship style government that's, a city within walls. Like this city is literally enclosed within walls. And you have the streets that are now patrolled and monitored by these by the Foot, but a, you know, more cyborg version of the Foot Clan. And you have Tom Waltz from the main IDW comics coming back to do the writing for this miniseries and teaming up with Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. And this is an idea that's actually been cooking for quite some time. This was something that they thought of back when, you know, Ninja Turtles was first exploding in popularity. And it's good to finally get to see that story come to life. And you know, another thing that made this so engaging for me, this storyline, was the fact that they didn't make the last Ninja Turtle reveal as conspicuous as you might have thought. Like, sure enough, like, they do leave some breadcrumb trails, and, you know, very small breadcrumb trails. But, you know, if you're a fan of Ninja Turtles, you're gonna kind of be able to pick out like certain cues and certain hints as to who's who. You know, because I found myself, like, when I was reading this issue with the magnifying glass, just like looking at every little detail I possibly could that would kind of be a giveaway as to who the last Ronin was. But there are moments of dialogue when he's talking to his three brothers subconsciously, you know, as they're kind of guiding him on this quest for revenge. And they don't even show you who's who. You don't see the colored bandanas. Everybody has the black bandanas. Everyone's discreet and hidden in the shadows, so you can't quite make out who's who. You can't even see their weapons. Some of the dialogue moments, you can kind of tell who it could be. But even still, it's just not as blatantly obvious or in your face. Another thing that I really appreciate was, you know, the fact that they use the weapons as red herrings. Because you might be going into this issue looking at what weapon this turtle is using the most and connecting the dots that way to say it's, you know, it's this turtle or it's that turtle. But they don't do that because this last Ronin is kind of mixing and matching. He's using a little bit of each weapon. That was another thing I like stylistically, was the whole look, you know, the look of this turtle, and even his brothers in these moments, you know, they're all wearing black bandanas. They're concealed in the shadows and, you know, to where you can't make them out, as well as the last Ronin. I mean, he's all decked out in black, and this is not the first time we've seen this kind of look before. You know, we've seen it with the main series of IDW. There was a point in time when Leonardo was manipulated into joining Shredder. And I think that was at the City at War story arc. But it's really cool. I like seeing that, you know, style and that change of design. Also, there was a What If series, What If mini series, where, you know, all four turtles were all decked out in the black bandanas and a little bit of red in their, you know, wardrobe. And they also joined Shredder. So, you know, design-wise, I thought, like, the turtle looked great. Just everything about it, the writing, the pacing, you know, the build-up into the very last moment and the reveal, you know, as to who the turtle is, which I'm not going to tell you, you know, yet. We're going to get to that in just a moment. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on this issue. I thought it was great. I thought everything about it was amazing. I'm super excited to see how this story unfolds and for issue 2. And Carnell, why don't you tell us who this last Ronin is?
Now, people who are tuned into this video, now, if you haven't heard thus far who that mystery turtle is, it's going to get spoiled, like, right now. So, you've been warned. Michelangelo. There, I said it. Michelangelo. Like, who would have guessed? Now, okay, Josh, check this out. Let me, because we both spoke about it, and
yeah, we talked about it.
Going into this, ladies and gentlemen, it was just one of those situations where it's just like, all right, this is a dark timeline where 3 of the turtles die. That's wild. And I started thinking, like, all right, who would be the most likely to survive? My favorite turtle, Leonardo, right? But that's too easy. too easy. And then I started thinking, who's the least likely? And it was Michelangelo, because we could have gone in and said, like, yeah, Donatello, he's smart and you know, crafty and this and that.
Yeah, and so that was actually back in the main series, the main IDW series. There was a point in time when they actually, it's been a while since I think it was issue 50 around there. Yeah, and that's where Donatello took a sledgehammer by Bebop and Rocksteady to the shell, and it was pretty gruesome. And they basically baited him. They set a trap for him or something like that, or they located where he was, and he was by himself, and it was not a very nice outcome.
What would be the scenario that would cause Michelangelo to be the sole survivor, right?
You know, I think that scenario, you know, where we would see Michelangelo, you know, be that, you know, to take charge and, you know, to be the last Ronin. It's probably because, you know, there are a lot of people who probably think that, you know, Michelangelo is a bit of an underdog. You know, he doesn't get all the credit. They don't really take him as seriously, you know, because he's a goofball. Like, you know, he's you know, the comic relief of the Ninja Turtles, but that could be your downfall, because, you know, Michelangelo, he happens to be my favorite Ninja Turtle, by the way. He's the heart and soul of, you know, the Turtles, and I feel like people, you know, might underestimate him because he is skillful. I mean, he's just as skillful as the other Ninja Turtles as well, just with a bit of personality. So for everyone to think that last Ronin was going to be Leonardo or Raphael, like what you said, that's way too easy. It's way too obvious. And I agree with their decision, because I feel like it's kind of Michelangelo's turn to, you know, take the spotlight for, you know, once.
It was with two brothers, and the older brother died in the process of saving his younger brother, right? Now, being the big brother is supposed to take care, look out for the baby brother. And I'm thinking, because I don't know if we're going to find this out in issue 2, but covering issue 1, all right, we're covering issue 1, that in this situation, it had to probably have been a situation where Michelangelo pulled a Leroy Jenkins and goes rushing in, and then all of the turtles just like, oh no, go, 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 go. And so they're trying to support Mikey, doing all this and that, yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is all speculation, yeah, yeah. You know, and he's got the nunchucks doing his thing, but Michelangelo pulled the wrong move and started causing turtles to die, one after another. They dropping, and of course Leonardo, being the leader, going down with the ship, he's going to do something and still protect. And while the others are protecting the other protector, they end up getting killed, and Michelangelo is the sole survivor. And probably gathered their bodies, took their masks, took what was left of the weapons, because there seems to be some battle damage to some of these weapons, and that's that. And it just galvanizes Michelangelo's stability, his thought process as far as like yo, you did this. Now it turns into a revenge story, and it's just like, yo, like I'll join my brothers after and make amends after I'm able to do all this, because he's about to commit seppuku. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. And that's my take on it. Now, Josh, you like take over, and I remember you mentioning something about the wording at the end, because I didn't think about that. I was just like, yo, but also. We didn't cover Jones, because there's a female character named Jones, and quite possibly is the daughter to April and Casey Jones. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm thinking Jones might be dead. Case Casey Jones just might be dead, and the daughter is the living survivor who's still taking up the fight in his stead and stuff. I don't know, but yeah, let the folks know what you were thinking when you read this story.
Yeah, so earlier on in the issue, like, you know, somewhere at the beginning, Michelangelo steals a motorcycle off the street, and someone notices and, you know, yells out, "Hey, Jones, they just hijacked your bike." But it looks like this guy and this Jones character, they're part of some gang or something. And I want to say that this is some new iteration of the Purple Dragons. I just have this weird feeling, just I guess how the group looks, how if it is April's daughter, how she looks. So I am pretty sure it's her. Another good indication of that is like at the very end when we see Michelangelo falling, like, I don't know, like 50 to 80 feet straight in face first into concrete. He's bleeding out, and then we see her again following him as he's going into some manhole back into the sewers, and she basically this Jones character just follows his blood into the manhole, and next thing you know, he wakes up in some, I don't know if it's April's apartment or, you know, some kind of underground bunker or something like that, but April just randomly shows up, and his wounds are being taken care of. So that tells me right there that this Jones character maybe reached out to her mom, April, and said, "Hey, you know, I got this situation, I don't know what to do." And, you know, maybe she called her for help. I'm guessing that's what happened, because, you know, how else would he just magically end up being where April is? Like, so the very last line of dialogue in Talk Bubble in this issue is from April, you know, where she's talking to Michelangelo, and she goes, "Who are you just talking to, comma, Michelangelo?" And, you know, that kind of got me thinking that it's maybe, you know, like Michelangelo, question mark, like, who are you just talking to, Michelangelo? As in it's not Michelangelo who she's talking to, but that he's talking to Michelangelo, spirit Michelangelo. So I thought that was funny, that could have been interpreted two different ways. Maybe some people were just like, well, no, it's who are you just talking to, Michelangelo? As in, Michelangelo's the one in the bed that, you know, April is talking to. So I thought that was really interesting. So I'm really hoping they don't, like, sideswipe us and maybe really isn't Michelangelo, but I'm 100% sure that it's him.
All right. So, Josh, thank you.
Anytime.
Thanks for joining us. Fanboys, fangirls, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Again, if you like what you heard, like what you saw, please subscribe to this channel, subscribe to Josh's channel, Juice Talkies, because we want to do more things like this, collaborate more, bring you more geek stuff like this, because this was quite interesting. I love the fact that I was able to not just be by myself, be with my boy Josh, and just like yeah, let's geek out. So again, like and subscribe, and I'll meet you on the next one.